Good evening. Thanks for joining me. Tonight we're going to do a tutorial on how to make a towel topper. Now there's so many different kinds out there that I actually think I want to make a little series out of this. But we're just going to do a simple one tonight, and it's going to be one that you're going to need to have a snap kit, like the snap pliers and the snaps to use. So we're going to have the top of it go over the top and where you can snap it. And then, like I said, it's just endless. So if you have a specific kind of towel topper that you want, please let me know. This one seems to be the most popular. All right, so I'm opened up in Paint, in Microsoft Paint, and I turned the grid lines on because this one is a little bit more precise for me, and I'm not used to being precise. So if you want to know where the grid lines are on Paint, you just go to View. You can put in your rulers, grid lines, and your status bar. You can make it full screen, zoom in, zoom out, all that stuff. Okay, so I just want the grid lines on, and we're going to go ahead and use the rounded corners one. And we're going to make ourselves a nice little rectangle. Okay. And then on top of that, we're going to click the regular rectangle, and we're going to try to line it up right onto it. And we're going to go ahead and erase this part right here. We don't want that to sew. Okay. Okay, and you might have to adjust this length and this based on your oven, your handle, or wherever it is that you're wanting to hang this. You might want to make it a little bit longer. I have a 4x4 hoop, so kind of confined to keeping this small. But if you have a bigger hoop, you can really make some really beautiful stuff. So, all right, we've created that. Now we're going to create this piece. It's a little rectangle, and it's the most important piece of all. We're going to turn it red. We want to do it in a different color. Okay, and the most important thing about this, okay, we're going to turn this into an applique file, and this is going to be what's going to hold down your towel. Okay, so it's going to do the die line, and then we'll skip forward to this part, and then if you want any kind of decoration, let's just go ahead and do a little yellow star. And let's fill it with yellow, solid color fill, yellow. And let's bring it right to about the middle. Okay. And that's all there really is to it in Paint. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's select it from the bottom and around. Okay, and let's crop it. Now we will File, Save. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We are going to select all, right click and copy, or you can click copy up there. And we're going to open our SewArt. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get started on my computer. Okay, so let's just click edit and then paste, and it'll paste in our project. Okay, I want to crop it even more. It's nice to do the select and crop in Paint, but this just kind of works a lot better once you get it in here. Okay, so let's click the crop button again. All right, so that got it all really nice and close. And so let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. So the white, the black, the yellow, and the red. Okay, but this thing might give us lots more colors. It might just stick with what we had. Okay, so it looks like it didn't do any converting, which is fantastic. So we have 4 colors like we meant. I still like to go in I've realized that a lot of the end problems, people have really crummy sew outs and stuff like that, can be fixed during image, like when you're playing with the image. So one of the things that I've started to do is go in and recolor everything with the colors from SewArt. Okay, and that way there's not really a whole lot of stuff to mess up once you get it into Stitch Image button, which is where we're going. All right, so like I said, we're going to do applique, and we're going to do applique center line. Okay, we're going to click on this one. Oops, I did not. Sorry. We're going to do applique center line, and we are going to do a satin stitch. I'm excited about this because I'm using Silky Solvy film to do it so that I can have clear edges on my satin stitch. So what I did was I took the film and I just doubled it up on the thing. Okay, so we want 2 and 40 for, actually let's do even bigger. Let's do 45. Okay, so that's going to make it nice and fluffy. Or the other way around, sorry. Some teacher, huh? Okay, so let's clear those stitches. It needs to be 45 height to length. And you always know you did it wrong if it doesn't come out looking like, well, like how you want it to look whenever it's at the end. All right, so this is going to give us 3 steps, even though it only shows 1. Okay, but we are going to go, let's go ahead and applique center line this one too, but we're just going to use a bean stitch. Actually, just a running stitch because we've got it on the thing. Okay, so we're just going to do a running stitch. This we will change the height of 2, this to 25. Be a really nice tight running stitch. Okay, so even though that is also 3 stops, it's only giving us 2. And then let's just go ahead for the regular fill. Okay. All right, so this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, just these 3. But what it's going to do, and we're going to have to do some bouncing around unless you have SewWhatPro. Now, at the end of this, I'm going to show you how to change the order in SewWhatPro really quick. But if you don't have SewWhatPro, just, you're going to have your tack down, and that's going to show you where to put your fabric, but you don't want to do that yet. You're going to do your tack down, and then you're going to skip forward to this one. And you're going to have it do its whole thing where it does the tack down. You lay your towel down and it grabs the top on the tack down and then the final stitch. It'll just reinforce it. And then you're going to lay your fabric down on top, have it do the tack down, and then you'll do your star. And then you'll put fabric on the back and then do the final stitch, which will be this pretty satin stitch. Okay, so I know that that's really confusing and I'm really sorry. They don't have an order function in SewArt, but if they did, that would be amazing. But right now we have to use SewWhatPro. Okay, so you are finished with this file unless you need to resize it. Since I am going into SewWhatPro, I'm not going to worry about resizing it. But if you wanted to resize it, you can resize it over here before you come to Stitch Image. Or you can do Save As. And I don't really need to take a picture. All right, so let's go straight to the desktop. And let's create a new file. Okay, and let's call it Towel Toppers. And this one is going to be rectangle, rectangle towel topper snap top. Okay, and right here you can change the size. So if you wanted to be like 0.5 of that original scale, that would bring it down to half of that. So I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to put it back at 1. and then click out. And I'm going to just double click into the towel toppers folder, rectangle tower topper snap top, save. Okay, and it gives you kind of a little sew out up there, and it tells you that it's saved. So there's our little sew out. You can't really tell, but it's in there. All right, so I like to leave this open just for a minute in case I open it in SewWhatPro and there's something wrong. So if you have SewArt and you don't have SewWhatPro, you can turn the video off, or not turn the video off, but you can fast forward to the stitch out. But I'm going to go ahead and go into SewWhatPro right now and show you guys how to do that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to open SewWhatPro. Sometime this year. This is my son's computer. I'm still working on my son's computer, but I'm not complaining. It's fantastic. It just kind of takes a little time sometimes because there's so much stuff on it. All right, so let's go and find our file on the desktop. And it was called Towel Toppers. There we go. And I'm going to click on the PES. I'm going to click Open, and it's going to bring it up like how it should sew out. Okay. But over here, it's all crazy, right? Because you don't know what's going on. And even though it's in the right order per SewArt, it's not in the right order for your brain when you're trying to do it. So this is going to be our tack down, and it's going to show us where we need to put our fabric, but it's really just going to be an outline for this one. And then we're going to need to move all of this stuff around. So this one actually is going to come after you put your fabric on top and after it's already done the towel. So these three need to move up in between 2 and 3. So we'll go up here to edit and order threads. I love that this is even an option. Okay, so number 4. All right, in the new order column, enter the new stitch order for that row's thread. For example, if you want the old thread number 5 to stitch out first, enter number 1 in row 5. To delete a thread, enter a 0 or blank in the corresponding row of the new order, or you could just right click on it and delete it. Okay, so we want to turn number 4 into number 2. And we want number 5 to be number 3. And we want number 6 to be number 4. Okay. And then what did I just do? We wanted that one to be number we want number 4 to be number 2. Number 5 to be number 3. Sorry, it is confusing, but it's cool. Okay. So then number 2, we want to be number 5. Number 3, we want to be number 7. And the yellow, we want to be number 6. I know it's probably really confusing, but it's going to shake everything up. All right, so it's going to give us our tack down. That's going to show us where to put everything. It's going to show us where everything's going to lay. It's like a little outline for your project. So even though it's not really useful other than getting to look at it, do it. Okay, also it helps stabilize the final stitch. Okay, so number 2, it's going to be this little square right here. And then we're going to lay the top of our towel down on this. And then we're going to press the button again, the play button. And it's going to give us this next one, which is going to be our tack down. So this is going to be the die line for the towel. This is going to be the tack down. And this will be the final stitch that kind of just cements it in there. We don't really need this stitch. We can delete it if we want. But I just like everything to have a little bit extra reinforcing if we can. All right, so, and then number 5 is going to be the tack down. It's going to be it doesn't look like it here, but we're going to lay our fabric. Once we did the towel, then we're going to lay our fabric over the top of it. Then it's going to tack it down. Then it's going to do the star. And then number 7 is going to be our final gorgeous stitch. And that should be the end of it all. It should be done and pretty and perfect. All right. So now that we have done that, let's go ahead and go into File, Save As. And the towel toppers, I'm just going to go right over the top of the one that I had from SewArt. And I'm going to click Save. And then I am going to, I don't like closing things until I'm totally done with them. So I'm going to go here. Oh, I need to get my machine plugged in. Hold on one second. Okay, so we have our removable disc. And so let's go to our desktop. If you have a Brother Scan and Cut, when you plug it in, it says removable disc as well. It's pretty cool. Okay, so towel toppers. We want the towel topper PES. And we're going to take that and we're going to drag it over here to the removable disc. Okay, and that's all that it takes. Then you can open your removable disc and you can see that it's in there. That means that it's on your machine. So I am going to close for now, and then I'm going to be back with pictures of the actual sew out. Thanks so much, you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.